It's your girl, Lizzie Yayo, forever keeping it a bando with 416 in the city and The Hype magazine. And on today, we have powerful two African American entrepreneurs with us today, introducing Aaron Wilson and Kevin Mensah. Can you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell everyone what it is that you all do?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Kelvin Mensah, also known as PJ Kev, and I'm a private jet broker and also the co-founder of Approved Jets and Approved Experiences.
My name is Aaron Wilson, and I'm a entrepreneur and also co-founder of Approved Jets and Approved Experiences.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you both.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Now, can you tell me how did Approved Jets get started?
Interesting story. So we got started. Actually, I met Aaron at my formal company that I was working with. It was actually a technology company, concierge company, and basically I was in the private aviation field for the past 12 years now. And I looked at Aaron one day and I said, Aaron, I have all the clients. I think we should just, go ahead and just start our own company and bootstrap this and build up our business together. And Aaron looked at me and said, you know what? If you believe in it, I believe in you. Let's do it. And that's how we actually started the company. Humble beginnings. We actually bootstrapped. We didn't raise any capital. Fast forward the first year of business, we doubled in revenue very very quickly. It started with 4 million in revenue and doubled really quickly in the following years. And Aaron was just my partner, also just basically guiding me and telling me how we can run this business successfully. And we both it's like the yin and yang, right? We both complement each other, and I think it's a form of a brand new, a nice company that we have here at Approved Jets.
Awesome, awesome. So with Approved Jets, you all serve various high-profile clients. Um, can you share some people that you've worked with?
And you want to take that question, or you want me to answer?
Yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. So we worked with an array of individuals who span across high net worth clientele to ultra high net worth, some NBA and NFL athletes, some musicians as well. So it really varies across the board. A lot of the times we kind of have our client base, people look at it only from the perspective of working with like celebrities, etc. But there are also an array of individuals who leverage our services who are, I guess, a little bit more under the radar and below the radar. But
Right.
yeah, even government officials are some of our clients.
And how did you all come about being able to work with those type of clients? What influence did you all have to put in?
I think basically I always had a relation. I was also a relationship builder, so I always had a unique relationship with one of my close friends to the and brother Justin Combs, and you know with the relationship with him, and relationship with one of my best friends Zoe Young, which was French Montana's basically manager at the time. I built up the celebrity clientele pretty quickly. What we had to do is basically we had to just market ourselves and basically be the trusted brokerage that we are today by basically just doing what we say we're going to do, right? Just delivering quality service, pivoting and adding different features onto these private jets that wasn't really, qualified. I would say, as a entry company. And I think that basically what we did and what we pivoted and what we did that was differently from other companies is that we started adding services that the clients really, really respected and wanted on their planes, such as catering from your favorite restaurant, adding a menu, customizing the interior of the jets. And I think what we did is, we found a real name for ourselves by pivoting to mostly the experience from not only when you book a jet, but when you actually get on the plane.
Right. Can you provide one of the experiences that you all had to put together for a client for their luxury flight?
A client was going on tour, and it was going on tour for actually for 30 days. And one of the experiences that we did is we customized the carpet, but not only customized the carpet before they get on the plane, we customized the interior of the plane to make it feel like at home, make it feel like their own, jet inside their living room. When it comes to customizing the seats, the pillows, we actually did sleeping masks for them. We also did the customized water with their logo. We also customized the interior of the jet with their logo as well. And we just made it feel. We just made it feel at home. We customized it. The flight attendant had the logo of the client's company, and it was basically everything was customized to the T. It was like full on his branding. It made it feel like his own plane for 30 days.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, where'd you all come up with such ideas like that?
We we had a robust team. I
Hmm.
think I give thanks to the team that we have around us. I know we all tend to bounce different ideas, here and there, and everybody has an opinion. But I think when you could come together and you could collaborate with people, and you could come to one accord, I think that's when the magic really happens. So I got to give thanks to the team. I can't, basically do anything without my team.
Exactly. I agree. Having a team is very, very important. So, um, being owners of approved jets, what what kind of members do you need on your team so that it stays relevant as it is?
I mean, I think that's a great question. One of the key things that a lot of business owners don't necessarily deem of high value that's always going to be important is that when you're in the people business, it's not just about your clients, but it's also about the people who you surround yourself with from an organizational design and organizational development perspective. And we were very, very intentional about understanding how to maintain a lean team that also has individuals specialized in a specific functional area. So we have individuals who specialize in relationship management, some who specialize in identifying the right aircraft for a specific kind of trip, and then others who identify, who specialize in accommodations and truly making the experience memorable. So being able to identify strengths and then also vulnerabilities in your staff and having great people management skills is something that we hold in high esteem. And that's what's afforded us the opportunity to be able to grow so quickly without having a team of 20, 30 people, or some of our peers in the industry who do similar revenue numbers have teams 5 to 6 times the size of ours. But it's because they're just not getting the most out of their people and the leadership just isn't intact.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's very important. I believe that in order for any business to grow, people have to understand that you can't do it alone. Sometimes or majority of the times you do have to have a good team, good support system. And I'm thankful for you adding that in. Now, as industry leaders, what challenges have you all faced and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, I know Kelvin can definitely attest to it because we've experienced a lot of this together, but we faced an array of challenges over the course of the last 4 years. Obviously, this is a very capital intensive business where it requires a massive amount of money in order to run a successful business. The stakes are pretty high. If you make one mistake, it could cost you 5 figures or 6 figures, cost your business that much money. And a lot of our challenges that we faced are, being in an industry where we don't necessarily see people who look like us. One of the hardest things about being in an industry where you don't see people who look like you or anything in the nature of that nature as well is the fact that when you want to integrate vertically, so that you could get preferred pricing, or so that you can be able to get a healthier profit margin, it's hard because vertical integration is going to require you to move further down the supply chain to becoming a supplier, right? And being brokers, that would require us to become private aviation jet managers or operators, or even venture into owning an aircraft. And these are things that are all very resource intensive and capital intensive. And, obviously, those are huge hurdles to cross, especially because we don't just have a ton of disposable capital that our families are holding on to say, hey, go buy a jet, or hey, go build a robust staff so that you can manage and operate jets instead of just being a broker. So, definitely it was tough getting into a space where we didn't see too many people who looked like us doing it, but we wanted to blaze a trail because we knew that if we could keep our heads down, focus, and do something grand and disrupt the industry, that there could be some young black and brown boys and girls who may be inspired to do the same thing one day as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, do you all have a program for people or for people that look like us to come under either as interns or just learning the field?
I got approached that a lot of different times, creating some type of training program for upcoming private jet brokers, and it's been on my mind for a while. And I spoke to Aaron about it recently. We're actually gonna start something in the near future. That wasn't primarily our focus, but
Right.
it's definitely something that we're gonna start in the near future for sure.
That is exciting to hear. Definitely, we'll be on the lookout for that to share. Because, like you said, there's not many of us out doing what you all have accomplished and successful in. Um, how has the recognition from Black enterprise impacted the trajectory of approved jets? Like, congratulations as well.
Thank you so much. Um, Shout out to Black Enterprise. They've been so supportive of our journey and our story from the start. So I want to give a special thanks to them and their team and everybody that's a part of their team. Um, yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I think from me getting honored, 40 under 40, to the various articles that we have with Black Enterprise. I think it basically just helped bring awareness to what we was doing, and it helped more people just like tune in to support us. And I think at the end of the day, that's all a company actually needs, right? Support us, right? So it was a real helpful hand. And then from there, it was going to trickle effect to different businesses and collaborations and partnerships that was reaching out to us as well. Um, and I think it's been very helpful.
I can imagine getting that type of recognition and people like, oh man, oh, I got to check this out. Now, do you all have what type of services do you all provide that, let's say, a family's having a wedding, or like what type of services do you all provide?
Oh yeah, so we provide an array of services that go beyond just the private aviation charter, but also private aviation adjacent services as well. So that's anywhere from a yacht charter to a villa rental to just about anything you could imagine within the luxury travel sector, like ground transportation, booking a luxury vehicle or an exotic rental as well, like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. So being able to get a fully encompassing or comprehensive experience from A to Z, from having your ground transportation arranged, taking you to the jet, then flying on the jet to your destination, being picked up in a beautiful SUV, then being chauffeured from that private jet terminal to your villa, and then while you're there at the villa, also having an excursion set up for you and things of that nature. So pretty much anything that you could imagine that would make your experience something you won't forget, we can handle that.
Beautiful. Do you all choose the type of vehicle, or not vehicle, or plane, jets, or whatever the necessities is needed for the client? Do you all choose it, or do they mostly choose it themselves?
To be honest, we give the clients the options, whether it ranges from a mid-size up to ultra long range jet, and now we're doing airliners as well. But we have them choose the jets. We basically educate them on what jet is feasible for the trip that they're doing. For instance, a lot of people now want heavy jets. In my opinion, I just love the Global Express and I love the Falcon 900B because of the wide cabin space that it offers. But most people just know about G4s and G5s because they hear it, or they might be reading about it. So it's all about the preference of basically the client. We just try to basically offer the best and educational jet and aircraft that's feasible for the trip.
Okay. So do you all can you provide some of the prices of something that would be feasible, or what is the yeah, like what are some of the prices that you all have that'll be feasible and for um, whichever client and whatever it is that they're trying to do, so that people on the audience can be like, oh, okay, I need to have this amount of money so I can jump on a plane or jump in a jet.
It just depends on where you're going. Jets range. So a typical trip from New York to Miami on a mid-sized jet, which is an eight-passenger, can range anywhere between 27,000 to 30,000, and on a heavy jet, it can range anywhere between 32,000 to $38,000, and that fits about 12 to 14 passengers. So just different ranges. Jets are typically priced per hour, starting at 4,000 an hour, can go anywhere between 10 to 12,000 an hour.
Oh, and also something super important to note as well too is that as Kelvin said, jets are priced per hour, and something super important to note is the lead time. So if you're trying to take a last minute trip, unfortunately, we're at the mercy of the economics of the industry. So the supply, demand, price correlation does impact things a lot, and the prices do fluctuate by the minute because the demand is super high and the supply of private jets is pretty conservative and quite low. So, as a result of that, if you're not providing sufficient lead time when you're booking, you may get hit with some pretty aggressive prices or surge pricing at times. So, we just do our best to be able to inform our clientele and prospective new clients about how the industry works so that they're not put in a tight spot when they have to do any last minute traveling.
Right. So yeah, make sure that audience, make sure you guys have yourselves ready. Obviously it'd be more but be best for people to contact you all with 2 weeks in advance. How do they do the scheduling? What would be best for someone that is looking to travel?
I would say, I mean, it's best to give us, 72 hours in advance. I mean, I think, definitely 2 weeks in advance is, if you're planning ahead of time. But I think, a good a good plan that plans anywhere between, a week or, just depending on their schedule. But I think 72 hours is fine. A week is fine. 2 weeks is fine. But it just depends on their schedule and where they're going and, how they want to plan their trips.
Right. Well, I thank you both so much, Aaron Wilson and Kelvin Mensah. Can you provide me individually some encouraging words for people out there that is either trying to become owners of any type of company?
For sure, for sure. I mean, one thing to keep in mind is that no matter what you're thinking of in terms of your dreams and your aspirations, not everyone is going to understand why you're doing what you're doing, and not everyone is going to support you. But you have to remain earnest, hardworking, and steadfast. because one day it'll all make sense. They'll tell you that you're crazy until it works, and then they'll tell you that you're a genius.
Thank you.
Just to attest to that, stay consistent. Um, make your mistakes fast. Read. Always soak up knowledge in your business. It's going to be a lot of road bumps, a lot of roadblocks, and basically, I think overcoming them is always fruits in your label on the other side. So, with that being said, stay consistent. Stay courageous. Always seek knowledge, and never, 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 never give up.
Thank you. Now, because there's not a lot of people that wants to be owners of jets and luxury avions, can you provide encouraging words for them? Like, what is it that they would have to do? Do they have to go to school for this, or
Well, I mean, I know Kev is definitely an expert at this. He's a maven when it comes to that. But the number one thing you have to keep in mind is you have to understand your audience. And a lot of people don't quite understand just as yet that you can't necessarily go to certain venues and certain scenes or be around a certain crowd and expect to get certain results, right? So, hypothetically speaking, if you want to get into that space, you have to build a network within that space. You have to figure out where these kinds of people like to eat, where these kinds of people like to go to happy hour. Are they a part of a social club? Because that's the only way you'll be able to build a network from clients or prospective clients to vendors or prospective vendors to even business partners or prospective business partners. But Kelvin, you're definitely an expert at understanding that landscape and how to build that network. So would love to get your take on it as well.
I think just being yourself. To be honest with you, I think you just step in the room and just be yourself. And I think you just, when you do, decide to, if you do decide to be a private jet broker, I think just understanding the language, understanding, what it takes to, be successful in this business, doing a lot of research. I think actually going to, MBAA and the trade shows and the conferences around the world, so you could get familiar of the people around your business. I think is major key as well to not only building up the clientele, but building up the relationships that you need in order to provide the top quality service that you want to provide. I think basically attest to that is that most people when they look at us and they look at our business, they don't understand it's actually bigger than just the jets. It's actually relationship building. So people don't like to be sold. They like when you know the information and they can trust you. I repeat that. People don't like to be sold. They like when you know the information and they can trust you. And I think just building up trust in any business, you're bound to be successful.
thank you both so much for those encouraging words. May you tell them where they could find you all either through social media and your approved jets.
Absolutely. So you can find approved jets at approved jets on Instagram. It's spelled just like that. APPROVEDJETS. And you could also find me at Aaron Wilson VC. That's AARONWILSON like vegetable carrot.
Mhm.
And you can find me on Instagram at PJKev. That's Papa Juliet Kilo Echo Victor. You can find me also on LinkedIn, Kelvin Mensah. You can find me on my website, www.pjkev.com. And like Aaron said, company page is approved-jets.com.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And maybe next time we could talk about um, the hosting that I've seen that you have gotten into and getting on stage hosting events and concerts and such.
I think the
Nah, for
first thing you
sure,
need to
for sure.
do
Yeah,
is
that's.
Cause you look like
master
the party man. I got to party with you one day.
Thank you so
information
much.
on
That brings the energy.
aircrafts
I
of
bring that
private
good energy.
jets.
Thank you so
Because
much.
once you
Thank
have the
you, Liz. We
information,
appreciate you. Thanks
you
for
actually know
having
what you're
us.
talking about.
Thank
Thank you.
See, a
you.
lot of
Thank
Have
you,
a
people
Liz.
want
good
to get
day.
into the
You
industry,
Appreciate
too.
it.
but when they
All right,
get
Take
now.
into
care
the
now.
industry,
Bye
they
bye.
lack information,
Bye bye.
which makes them not a reliable
Well,
person.
thank
See,
you
with
guys
private
for
jets, it's
tuning
different.
in.
You
It's your
can't
girl
carry a
Lizzie
private jet in your
Yayo,
back and say, I
forever
sell
keeping it a
private
bando
jets. So
with
how do you sell it?
416
You
and
sell
the
it
city
by
and the
knowing
Hype magazines. And we were blessed to
aircraft
have
ins and
Aaron
out,
Wilson and
cabin
Kelvin
size,
Mensah.